Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Hi. Oh my gosh. There's no people going by on the bottom. Oh my goodness. Ah, they've changed this. Hi guys, I can't see anybody. There's no, it used to be the little bubbles going by on the bottom and they're not there. This is so sad. Oh my goodness. Oh no. You see people? I don't see people on my end. Oh no, I only see myself. Oh my goodness. You see the bubbles? I don't think I get them. I get this little thing on the right with your names there. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is gonna take a minute for me to get used to. Everything's changed. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm so sad that I can't see your little bubbles. This is like a huge change. I think I see your hearts, but I don't get to see your faces. So, oh well. I don't think so. I think they actually changed the entire teacher dashboard, and I hadn't been on here in a long time, and so it took like some time today for me to get used to this new system that is here. And I didn't realize that all the bubbles were gonna be gone. Oh, okay, well, anyway, I'm so happy to be here, and oh my gosh, it's so good to see all your faces and on the side, your little names. Um, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm gonna start with my invocation, and then um, we'll go in. Some people can see the bubbles, teachers too. For some reason I can't. I don't know why. Okay. So I'm going to start with my invocation, and if for some reason you've never joined my live before, I haven't been here in a while, I always start with an invocation. It's just a way of becoming present here together, and so I'm going to sing in Sanskrit, just a little shorter one than usual, but we'll chant together. You can sing Om with me if you like, or just listen, and the purpose of this invocation is really just to call in good energy and blessings for our time together. So all you have to do is just relax, and if you like, you can sort of imagine that you're just calling all your energy to come back here into the present moment, so you can be fully here for this time. The instrument I play is here. You can't see it, it's called a harmonium. Oh my gosh, no bubbles. Oh my gosh, no faces. Oh. Everything changes. So just take a moment to center yourself. We'll chant the sound Om 3 times. And when you chant the sound, you can feel it in your whole body. Feel it in every cell. Feel the vibration, feel the resonance in every cell. So you don't just chant it with your voice, but feel that your whole body is a resonator for sound. This cosmic sound. Let's just take a few breaths together. 3 breaths. We're going to breathe in, just hold our breath for a moment, and then exhale and just release everywhere. Imagine that you're releasing through your whole body, front and back, sides, up and down. Release everywhere. Take a breath. Hold for a moment. And exhale, just release everywhere. Really feel that you're just releasing any heaviness, anything on your heart. Just let that go. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale everywhere. One last time. Breathe in. Hold. And exhale, release. Let us all gather our energy into the present moment. And feel our hearts connected throughout the world, choosing to be here in this moment with each other. Allow yourself to put your burdens down. Just give yourself this time for your own nourishment, to take care of you. May our time together be full of blessings. May each of us receive exactly what we need in this moment. It may not be what we think it is, but let us be open with a beginner's mind to whatever we need for our highest good right now. May our gathering be of benefit to this ailing world in ways that our mind can't understand. May the good energy that we generate go out and be of benefit to those who need it. Thank you. It really is an adjustment to not see the bubbles on the bottom, because that's sort of what made it feel alive, you know, because I could see people there, and so it's a strange change. I can look down to my right on the bottom corner and I see the conversation thread, but it's a little bit different. Anyway, you go away for 6 months and everything changes. Everything. That's the nature of life. So thank you so much for being here. I love you too. It's hard to hear me. Anybody else having issues with that? Oh, really? Oh, okay, thank you for telling me that. Oh, I see what happened. My vocal went down by mistake. Hopefully it will be better. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll test it before I sing again just to make sure it works. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's alright. My voice wasn't warmed up anyway, so it's better that you just heard the harmonium. Everything always works out, you know. But I'm gonna test it again. So, is the volume still low on the mic? This mic? Is my voice still low? Anybody? I think it's all the way up. It's good? Okay. I'm having some issues with this board here, so anyway, I hope it will be okay, and if not, I'll try to adjust it for the next time. So anyway, it's been such a long time that I've been here, and so much has happened. It's almost a separate session to share, you know, in depth about some of what I've been going through. I've been going through a dark night of the soul. I'm trying to minimize it by saying little, but actually it has not been very little. I've had one other experience in my life, one other time in my life when I went through a few years of a really difficult time that many of you who follow me have heard me talk about, which was the time before I found my music, where I was just shrouded in darkness and illness and really having a hard time. But that period birthed me into a new life, a completely new life. And this period that I'm going through, it actually, I think it kind of started last year. Some of you may remember I got a jaw injury last spring, and I had to cancel some trips I had for to do programs in Australia and Japan. That kind of set off something, and it's just continued on. The last 6 months have been really intense. So I'm still in it, to be honest. I'm not in the same place that I was 6 months ago. I'm able to be here with you, but I'm not fully on the other side. So I don't really have total perspective yet about what is going on or what this has been about to be able to even talk about it properly. Sometimes it's just it's so easy to just want to kind of simplify everything into like a little truffle to just give someone to say, here, this is it. It's so simple, but life is rarely so simple. We may have physical challenges going on, health issues, but we're like a multidimensional being with all these aspects that are interconnected. So a health crisis is often accompanied by a crisis on every level, right? Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, everything. So that's um, what's been happening. And yeah, I feel like the fruit isn't fully ripe enough to be able to really share enough about it and with enough distance yet. So I'll share as I can what I can and take what is coming up for me in these moments into the session today. It seems to be my cancellation era. Life has been canceling me. I've had to cancel so many things. And for, a person who I like to follow through with what I commit to doing, I like to, be true to my word, but that's not always possible in life. So starting last year, I had to cancel all these trips. And then in the last 6 months, I've had to cancel everything, all of my one-to-one sessions, all of my any programs, my women's program, concerts, just live sessions. I had to cancel the spring equinox program, and I'm so sorry about that. I really just couldn't do it. It was impossible. So, so much of what this time has been about, which it seems to always be about on some level, I find, is just about surrender and acceptance of what is. You know, what's happening has not, it's not the way that I would like things to be, but it's not about that. It's about something deeper and just trusting that, trying to find the trust in that. And I'd shared with a few people that in January I led a retreat called From Fear to Trust. And it was a deep rest retreat. It was a really beautiful retreat. And little did I know, I was enrolled in my own program, which I always am. I'm always enrolled in my own program. Everything I'm doing, I hope it benefits you, but it's totally for myself also. And so I was in that retreat because I was leading that retreat, so I was in it. And it really went to a deep place, and I started really sitting with it for myself in a deeper way. I've led that program, that retreat, a couple of times. Um, and it was kind of set off something because then I entered into this really hard period. Shortly after that retreat, I was meditating one night, and after the meditation, I was just kind of that day I was sort of feeling heavy, and I was really feeling like I just feel stuck. Like I feel like I'm stuck. I'm sure you had that feeling of just stuckness. And no matter what you do, you can't break through it. And I've had that feeling for about a year now, feeling like I'm not living up to my full potential. I just know that I'm not, and I don't know how to get to the other side of that. And I was feeling so heavy, just not knowing with my own mind and my own will how to cross the chasm, of wanting to be more in my fulfilling what I'm here to do in this world. And so I prayed after this meditation. It was not a prayer that is like a mind prayer. I don't know if you've ever found the difference between different types of prayers, but sometimes for me, a prayer feels like, I'm really being intentional about something and I'm really praying for world peace and I'm visualizing that. And it's a prayer that is of my heart, but also of my mind. I'm directing my mind somewhere. Other times, I would say probably only like a few times in my life, I've had a prayer that is not even of my mind. It just arises up from some deep place inside me. It's not manufactured, and it just comes out of my being, out of the ocean of my being. And I had this prayer. Please, whatever obstacles are in my way, whatever is stopping me from fulfilling what I want to do, from embodying who I'm meant to be. Please clear that, please, because I feel so burdened. I feel so heavy. The next day, I had a concert in Boston, and that day when I woke up, I felt kind of just a little weird. Um, and I just thought, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired or something. And so I went to Boston, and as we were setting up for the sound check and everything, I just started feeling even more weird. And there were some specific things that happened that I'm not going to go into because it's honestly a huge story in itself. But there was an incident that happened that set off this very crazy situation, and I was starting to feel more and more unwell. And in the middle of the concert, I just sort of got, you know, psyched myself up. I was like, I'm gonna do this concert. I'm gonna be fine. And there were a lot of people there, and I knew I was gonna have to just like, I can do that. I can like just commit. I'm just in this moment, and I'm just gonna put everything in a box, and I'm gonna get through it. And so I was able to just be in the moment. But I remember in the middle of the concert, I was singing some song, and I just knew something was just very wrong. Something just felt very wrong. I didn't feel well. And I got scared for a minute that I wasn't going to be able to finish. But I did finish. And afterwards, my bandmates and I went out to eat dinner. And it was during dinner that I really realized I had to go home because something felt very strange. And that was like the beginning of whatever bizarre rabbit hole I've been in. I never felt normal again after that um, day, after that prayer, after that concert. And the prayer like stayed with me, and I thought, okay, I just prayed to have these obstacles removed, and now I'm really not well. I have to cancel everything. I don't know what's wrong, and not only am I not fulfilling what I want to be doing, I'm like moving so much farther away from that according to my mind, right? My mind doesn't understand things in a deeper way. My mind understands things based on its likes and dislikes, what it likes and doesn't like, what it wants, not what may be best for me. So that was a very interesting thing that I've been walking with, and somehow, even though things have taken their sweet old time to heal whatever's been going on, whatever this knot is, I feel like I've been trying to untie a knot, but my ego, cannot untie this knot. I have to just allow it to be untied by life. I can't do it through force. And that is very frustrating. But that's the design. The design is to get to a place where the mind just sort of snaps itself because it can't figure things out. And that's where the light comes in. You know, that's where the freedom comes in. That's where the rebirth happens. It doesn't happen when everything is safe and orderly and structured and it all makes sense and it's all organized. There has to be chaos sometimes for something new, some friction, for something to ignite from that. So the details are a whole other live in itself that I'll share with you at some point about everything that's been happening, but it's been quite an interesting time, and I still have not uncovered that puzzle of how that prayer is connected to what has been going on, but I have full confidence that there is a connection. You know, I've said before that oftentimes Ganesh, who's the remover of obstacles, when we pray to Ganesh to have our obstacles removed, then we will have obstacles placed in our path sometimes. Because we sometimes need a thorn to remove a thorn, as my teacher Amma says. If you have a thorn in your foot, you have to get a thorn to get it out. Sometimes we're going down a path and it's not the right path, and we need an obstacle to divert us towards what is right. Our mind may say, hey, yo man, that is not what I wanted. That is not what this was supposed to look like this. But life is like, wait, you prayed to have obstacles removed, so I'm putting in a boulder here because you need a detour. You're not going on the right path. So that is really what I feel has been happening for me, that there's been like a splinter in my consciousness is how I feel. And I have not been able to get it out. So I need the divine tweezers to come in and get that baby out. And I have not been a very patient, but I've been trying to become more patient. But anyway, that what I can share for now is that I definitely am, moving through this time and learning a lot. And sometimes what is really, as I was contemplating the solstice, because that is the purpose of this gathering today, the summer solstice, which is in the northern hemisphere, of course. In the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. So we're flipped. The summer solstice is the time when we have the most light. It's the longest day of the year. And the actual solstice was on June 20th, so it was 2 days ago, but we're still in that aura and that energy of the solstice. And I was thinking about just my own life and what feels relevant to me right now, and contemplating about the sun and contemplating about the solstice and just how beautiful nature is, as such a teacher. We never go from winter to spring overnight. That would be very odd. If it was snowing and you woke up the next day to 90-degree weather and fruit on the trees, it would feel weird. Unfortunately, it seems like we're sort of headed that way in this crazy ecocide that's happening, where all the weather patterns are changing, right? But generally speaking, it's a gradual thing that happens, almost to the point that you don't notice it. I don't notice it. I notice that for myself. It's like it's cold, and then there's spring, and then spring kind of merges into what is summer, but it's all kind of merged together. And all of a sudden, you have the brightest day and longest day of the year, and then it starts going the other way. And it's so subtle and so gradual. And I really feel that our inner unfolding of our consciousness, the work we do in ourselves, our awakening and our evolution is like that. I think that it mirrors nature. Of course, sometimes a person can just, trip on a rock and then they wake up and realize the nature of existence. But in truth, we don't really know what went on, what preceded that. In the Zen tradition, they talk about gradual and immediate enlightenment. And, sudden enlightenment is you just, like I said, you're just walking, you trip on a rock and you're like, oh, everything is emptiness and I'm, I'm one with the universe. The other path, the gradual path, is where it's happening in increments, right? Slowly, until one day you wake up. But I think as nature as being our teacher, it's important to have some reverence for the process and to not expect that our inner journey is going to mirror the insanity of our modern culture, which is instant, which is fast, which is impatient. That is modern society. Go, give me the drive-through. I want the express, I want the weekend workshop. I'm going to get enlightened and then I'm going to teach, and I'm going to charge $20,000 because my weekend workshop woke me up. It's this type of attitude of like everything is instant, that is totally unnatural, really, if you think about it. That's not the way of nature. Nature is not express. Nature is not instant. When we had the winter solstice, in order to get here, we had to move through the equinox where everything was balanced, and then the sun slowly had to get stronger and stronger until it was right over us. And then now it's going to start to go the other way. So when I think about things like that, it really helps me, especially when I'm struggling and I just think, this is taking too long. I can't get to the end of whatever this is. What if it never ends? How do I go from fear to trust, and trust that this is what is right for me in this moment? How do I trust that? It's a practice, because we're taught so much mistrust in life. So trust is a practice, and trust is something, for myself anyway, I've learned it develops sometimes through the fire of learning. I have to pull my energy back. I can't look on the outside. I can't look at other people and things. I can't compare to anything on the outside. I am my own oracle for my life. You are the oracle for your life. Nobody knows what your journey is meant to be. You do. Nature does. So I really feel so much gratitude to the sun as I've been just sitting with it in the last couple of days, like thinking about this live session, thinking about where I'm at in my life, and appreciating the natural rhythm that everything is taking, and knowing that at the right moment, at the right time. Thank you, Steve. The sun will all of a sudden be over the horizon, right over me, really bright. But there often tends to be this thing where we kind of shun darkness and we praise light. I have a talk called The Holy Darkness, some of you have heard. And I really think it's interesting because, in some ways, the light, when we call on the light, we have to be prepared to see what the light illuminates. You know, light is an amazing thing, but when we bring more light in, we see what doesn't have light on it. And sometimes that's really uncomfortable. So, the summer solstice is this time when we have so much light, and Lord knows we need light in this world right now. If the sun is a metaphor for divine light, we need that light so much. But in terms of our own journey, that light is a gift. But that light also sometimes, when we have that light come in, it can sometimes, shine onto things that are hard to look at. And sometimes I think it's the times that feel like the darkest in our lives that there is the most light, actually. We don't see it because we feel like we're shrouded in darkness, but it's actually the light that is, creating that illumination of the darkness inside. Really, all light, as soon as we turn on the light, the darkness vanishes. But, light is, it's a revealer. It's a great revealer. It reveals what is hidden. It reveals what we don't want to see. And so for myself, over these last many months, and what has felt like a very heavy time, a very dark time, in some ways, in a deeper part of me, I also feel that there's a great light shining that is allowing that to happen. Because I gave the invitation for it. I said, please, remove whatever obstacles are in the way of me fulfilling my destiny. I asked for that. So if I'm asking the light, and that's coming from a really genuine place in me, if it's a really genuine prayer, then that's the light. That's what was given to me, right? I talked in the last live about a box of darkness, which was quoted from Mary Oliver. It's just such a beautiful quote. I talked about that for the winter solstice, but it seemed like I was handed a box of darkness, but it was actually light that handed it to me. So anyway, the summer solstice is just, I think, a time to really meditate upon nature and what do the rhythms of nature have to offer us. And that is what I'm thinking about today, is the path, the inner journey of life, and how it's not going to conform to our mind, what our mind thinks should happen. And it's not going to conform to, like I said, this insanity of our modern capitalist culture that is instant. We have to be able to unhook from that so that we can trust our own path, our own timing. I recently saw the Mamos. So those of you who followed me from before have heard me talk about the Mamos, and the Mamos are indigenous spiritual leaders from the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia. Mamo means sun, actually. Mamos are the sun. And I had spent quite a bit of time with them before the pandemic. It was really fortuitous how I met them, and then I was able to have a lot of time with them, intimate time, driving around with them, eating and staying with them for a time before the pandemic, and I learned so much from them. They've just really had a deep impact on my life. Very briefly, for those who don't know, the Mamos are the male. They're not really shamans. Shaman is not quite the right word. They are like the intermediaries between nature and humanity. They're like connectors between the spiritual world and the physical world, and they're guardians of nature. And they're like planetary energy healers, you could say. And Mamos are the male spiritual guides, and Zagas are the females. And they are part of a group of indigenous people from that part of the world who were previously called the Tairona people, and now often go by the Teyuna. The Teyuna people are made up of 4 different tribes. The Kogi, who you may have heard of before, the Arhuaco, the Wiwa, and the Kankwamo. And they are one of the few pre-Columbian civilizations that still exists and maintains their ancestral wisdom and ways of life. And they managed to preserve that. And of course, colonization happened, but it didn't happen the way it did with many other societies. When the Spanish came to Colombia in the 1500s, they fled up, way up into the mountains, and they were able to, you know, stay, keep their culture and their traditions afloat. And each one is distinct, each tribe is distinct, but they all share the same mission. They all share the same intention to care for nature, to be guardians of nature. And the male Mamos, sometimes, depending upon the specific tribe that they're from, will spend 9 to 18 years in darkness when they're young. And when they do that, when they're in the darkness, they are attuning their consciousness to what is called a luna, which is like the great mother. And during that time, they're trained by the elder Mamos about the wisdom of nature, and they have such a deep understanding. They can read a rock like a book. They can hear the songs of the trees. They understand the essence of every natural thing. It's really amazing. And Mamos are chosen as well as Zagas through divination. And this is a whole conversation. There's so much I could share about this, but they live in what is called to them the heart of the world. They believe the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta is the heart of the world. And in that heart, it is a microcosm that is reflected in the rest of the world. So they believe what happens there is like a mirror for the rest of the world. So their mountain peaks, the snow started melting years ago, and they realized that was a sign that something serious was going on Earth, because that was reflecting a bigger pattern throughout the rest of the world. So they were very private. They didn't never really let people into their ancestral territory. And then when they started seeing what was going on Earth and with nature, they started by inviting the BBC to come in years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, 20, 30 years ago, and they made a documentary about them. It was like with an urgent message to humanity, basically just saying, you're destroying the planet, and we, the guardians of the planet, they consider themselves the elder brothers, and we over here, living in the artificial world, are the little brothers who have to learn from them. And they did this documentary, but nothing changed, nothing happened. And so then another documentary was made that I've mentioned before. It's called Aluna. You can find it on YouTube. And again, they were talking about what was going on, what they perceive. And they started allowing people slowly to come into their territory. They started traveling a little bit and sharing their wisdom. And but I don't think it's very common. I mean, you can't really find that much about them. Like, even online, they're just a pretty cloistered group of souls doing amazing work for the earth. And there's just, I don't even know how to talk about how much I've received from them in terms of understanding the natural world and our place in it, and how everything is interconnected. Every single thing in this world is interconnected. There could be an ant that lives in the mountains there that has stripes on it, and that ant has a connection to like a tiger in another part of the world. So they might believe that if something is happening to the ants, that means something could be going on with the tigers, the stripes, in a different part of the world. It's really interesting how everything mirrors everything. I remember when they were here near where I live, and there were specific lakes that we went to and did these rituals. They're called pagamento, which means payment. We're giving offerings to the earth, offerings to nature. And they talked about how that specific lakes were sister lakes to lakes in the Sierra where they live. Everything mirrors everything throughout the whole world. It's really fascinating. Anyway, I hadn't seen them in a long time. since before the pandemic, and then I just saw them a few weeks ago, and it was so healing for me to see them again. And there weren't many people, just a few people, and we just sat by a fire, and they told stories, and we did played some music for nature. They believe that playing music for nature is a way of honoring nature. Everything should be reciprocal, right? When we take from nature, we should give back. Everything is a give and take like that. And to them, it doesn't make any sense how people could just keep taking and extracting from nature and never giving anything. So when they do healings for people, often what they're doing is they're making payments to nature essentially for that person, right? Because we take and we don't give. And so their whole way of life and their whole everything they do is about giving to nature, asking for permission from nature, and making offerings to nature. And it's very sad because, in their territory now, there's deforestation happening, there's mining happening, there's cell towers being built on top of mountains. Like on one mountain area, there's a big cell tower, and they said that there's these trees that communicate across like a valley, and because of the cell tower, the trees can't communicate with each other anymore, and so some of the trees have died. It's so sad. So they're facing this, and they're trying to buy back their ancestral land so that they can preserve it. But as part of their practices, they years ago, before many things changed, they would make these elaborate offerings to nature. They would bury special things in the earth, like gold or jewels or crystals or special things that they would empower, and they would put them in specific places in the earth, and then those items would go into the earth, and they would like amplify this good energy into the earth. But then people started finding out about it, and they started digging up these things, which are very, very sacred objects, started digging them up, selling them or putting them in museums or whatever. It's such a sad, sad thing. But it's also beautiful that they are continuing to do this work, and this is their life. Their entire life is devoted to nature. And it's not a mental concept. There's no need to wear a badge that says, I preserve nature. They're just one with it. We are all one with it. But we don't know that. We've forgotten that. But they do know that. And so being around beings who have such a deep oneness with nature it's a transmission that I can't quite explain. I was just sitting in front of a fire. One of the mamos was feeding specific leaves to the fire because the fire is alive. The fire is alive. So when you feed it, it's a way of saying, I see you to the fire, thank you, I love you, eat this fire. The elements are alive. That is what the relationship is. We were sitting in this little sort of outdoor wooden like temple type thing, and one of the mamos was saying that he could hear the songs, that the trees were singing a song because they were happy we were there, and he started singing the song, the trees song. It was just so beautiful and so simple, and so it just touched my heart so deeply to just be sitting on the earth looking at this fire and listening to these stories. And I don't know, just thinking about how far away we've moved from that. They talk about the artificial world, right, this world that we're living in, but one of the things that we're talking about is the importance of listening to nature, listening to ourselves, and the importance of developing our intuition. And everything they do is by asking permission, and they're always doing what they call consultations. So before they would do any event or anything, they would do what they call a consultation with nature to make sure that it's for the highest good to do it. And so they were talking about the different types of intuition, how we can receive that guidance from ourselves and how important it is. You can receive it through dreams, you can receive it through divination. Some mamos, there's one mamo, Rodrigo, he's always going like this. He stands there and he's always going like this with his hands. That's the way that he does his divination. Other mamos do different things. They were talking about how everything is a messenger, right? The way the ants will come into someone's house and the format that they take. the direction that they go is a message. A specific bird that comes, it has a message. And I was really just thinking about this notion of intuition and deep listening and how important I think it is for this time that we're living in now. Because our world is getting more artificial by the day. And I don't just mean that with artificial intelligence, right? Like we're on the brink of this like explosion of AI technology, which has obviously been happening, but I don't know if you feel it. I feel like it's just about to just like pop. Who knows what is going to happen, but I can feel that. And so they're talking about listening. I feel like it is so important because it's harder and harder now in the world to be able to know what is real and what is true. We need to refine our discernment more than ever. It's beyond just fake news, right? Because we live in sort of a gaslighting era. This is like a gaslight era. It's funny, that word gaslighting, like 20 years ago, I don't think anybody really talked about gaslighting, and all of a sudden it became this huge buzzword, and it was like the Merriam-Webster dictionary word of 2022 is gaslighting. Gaslighting is basically, can be used in many different contexts, but it's essentially when a person questions our reality so much that we begin to question it ourselves. We begin to wonder if we're crazy, right? It could happen, for example, if 10 million people go to a protest and then someone says, oh, there was no turnout, nobody came to that. And you say, well, I think there were millions of people there. And then the other person says, yeah, no, nobody showed up to that. No one came. But I think pretty sure there were like 10 million people there. No, nobody came to that. Nobody cares about that. Nothing happened there. Right? This is like a kind of gaslighting, like denying reality to the point that you start to question, like, maybe nobody did go out to that protest. No, I'm sure they did. I think they did. But did they? When somebody starts to question, you start to question yourself. I've experienced gaslighting a lot in the medical world, when you might go to a doctor and say, I'm having this problem, I'm having this symptom or this issue, and if the doctor doesn't see it or understand it, they may just not believe you at all. And they may just say, well, you're probably stressed, or maybe you're just depressed. And there have been so many times I myself and others that I know have said, no, something's wrong, I know it's wrong. And a doctor may frame you like you're crazy. There's nothing wrong with you, it's just in your head. There's nothing wrong, everything looks fine, your blood tests are fine, but you know something's wrong. When someone keeps telling you there's nothing wrong, then you start to think, am I crazy? I think something's wrong, but it's telling me nothing's wrong, but I think something's wrong. I think maybe you get what I'm saying. This is gaslighting. It happens in relationships. It happens in so many different worlds where our reality is questioned. And when that is why, because we live in this era where there's so much gaslighting happening, I just see it everywhere, we need to be able to trust ourselves and to be able to have confidence in our inner knowing. Like the mamos were talking about, how important it is to listen and know yourself. We can't advocate for ourselves if we don't know ourselves, if we don't honor ourselves. It's so, so important, more than ever, to trust our intuition. And it's a really weird thing, like whatever direction we're going as a world, just the way it's so hard to tell sometimes what is real, what is not real. I was just on Instagram a few days ago, and I haven't really been on social media much the last few months, but I just started kind of going in a little bit, and I was scrolling a little bit, and there was this video of a man, and he was in the Himalayas or something, or he was in some snowy place, and there was this incredible white lotus flower with like, it was like an insect. It was like a big lotus flower with like, it was like a mantis that looked like a lotus flower, and it was on his glove. Had a glove on, and this mantis flew on his glove, and the caption said, the celestial mantis has only been seen like 3 times in the last few hundred years, and when it's seen, it's a very auspicious thing. And it started going into that, and I was looking at it, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. I've never heard of a celestial mantis before. That's incredible. I was going through this whole thing because it looked so amazing. I opened up the comments and I started reading because I thought I want to see what it says about it. And then all of a sudden, all of the comments just said AI. Oh, this is AI. Nice. The guy has 6 fingers. I'm like, what? I went back and looked. He had 6 fingers. For 1 second, I was like, wait, do we have 6 fingers or 5 fingers? And I started questioning. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Okay, this is not real. There's no such thing as a celestial mantis. This is an AI thing. I was like, I'm not going to fall for this again. This is crazy. The next day, I went on Instagram again. I started scrolling, and there was a video of a woman with a great white shark. And this great white shark was like nuzzling its nose into her face, and she was petting it. And the caption said, it said, this woman has been free diving with sharks for 20 years, and she finally been able to befriend the greatest predator. And I was looking at it, and again I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. She befriended this great white shark. And the shark, he looked like he was smiling. And they were so happy. I thought it was real, and I went into the comments again. And again, it said AI, and I was like, oh my god, this is AI. How did I not know this? I can't believe I fell for this again. I just fell for this yesterday. I'm not gonna fall for this again. So that was it. One last time, 2 days ago, I was on Instagram. I just was scrolling for a minute, and there was a video of a seal that was covered in barnacles. And this woman had like a paint thing that you use to like spackle paint, and she was removing the barnacles. And she was giving this seal a bath. It looked so real. And I was like, oh my god, it's so compassionate. I would love to save seals. I'm so happy she's saving him. And then in the next clip, there was a killer whale, an orca, and it was up on the ice, and she was cleaning off the barnacles and giving him a bath. And I thought, this is amazing. She's befriending this orca, and she's saving his life. Again, I swear to you, I didn't think it was fake. I opened the comments, and again, it was like, a nice job, AI. Oh, that's great, AI. And then I just started thinking, oh my god. First of all, how do the powers that be even know that I really love animals and would completely be affected by that? That is weird in itself. All of a sudden, this like stream of animals like being saved, it like completely affected me. But then I really started thinking, and it's not funny. Okay, this is pretty harmless. A little celestial mantis and a little orca that's being taken and having his brambles taken off. It's not real, but it gave me a moment of happiness and peace, even if it was fake. But what about for things that are not so gentle? What about things that can mess with our mind, that can, make us question reality in more serious ways? This is a really serious thing. So I'm telling you that because it's been making me laugh how much I just kept telling myself I'm never going to fall for this again, and then I just kept falling for it because it just looks so real. But then it made me realize, okay, what the mamas were saying about really needing to develop our intuition and have discernment is so important. It's getting more important than ever. We have to be able to listen to nature, to listen to our nature, to know ourselves. In the last 6 months, I've had a lot of different health issues, and some doctors have been kind, some have not been. And I've had to really stand up for myself and to know, okay, this person is not really being respectful. They're just acting like I'm crazy because they don't know what to do about my situation. So I just need to walk away from that. I need to know. I can walk away from that and take care of myself. So we have to listen to ourselves. So that was a really important piece that I got from the mamos that I've been thinking about and has been revealing itself to me, like since seeing them with what I've been witnessing in the world. And the other thing that they talked about a lot, although they weren't really talking about it as a teaching, we were more teaching by doing. Every time I've ever been with the mamos, they've always stressed the importance of cleansing our energy and using sacred smoke. Many, many, many spiritual traditions have some type of practice like this, whether it be in the Native American tradition, using sacred plants like sage or cedar or sweetgrass, whether it be in the Amazon, Palo Santo or copal, whether it be a plant that they brought from the Sierra Mountains called frailejon, which we use to cleanse our energy. right? Whether you go to a church and they're burning frankincense, or either you're in a temple and we're burning incense, these sacred resins, smoke, sacred smoke from wood and plants, and cleansing our being is a very important thing, and I think more important than ever, because there's so much noise, ambient noise, etheric dirt, you could say, just etheric dirt, and we're picking that up, and we can absorb that into our being. So taking the time in one way or another to just release that and to cleanse our energy field is not a new age thing. It's actually an old age thing. It's become kind of popularized, and so now if you go to Urban Outfitters or something, you can buy Palo Santo, but that is not the proper place for it. These plants are meant to help us to become more harmonized and to clear our energy of what no longer serves us. And we did a ceremony using this plant, Fray Lajon, which we lit from this fire that was burning. And the way that they instruct to use that plant is, first of all, to not blow on it when it starts to go, if it starts to go out. It's disrespectful to the plant to blow on it when it's burning. So you have to kind of just do it in other ways. But they asked us to cleanse our energy 7 times with plants in both hands. So we would just, cleanse our being like this 7 times. I've done with them many times before. And this time when I did it, I don't know why, but it had a really strong effect on me. I felt like I was suddenly contained in my own energy, and I felt like I was sort of protected in my own energy. I really, really felt whatever energy wasn't serving me, I felt it clearing away. And it was very healing and very helpful, and I've been doing it every day since then. You don't need to have an actual plant or piece of wood to do it. You can do it with your imagination. You can hold 2 rocks in your hands, and you imagine you're cleaning your energy field. You imagine that the rocks are absorbing that. You just put the rocks on the earth. It will reabsorb that. You can do it with flowers, right? There's something called limpia. Mexican curandera will do like a limpia spiritual cleansing. I've had a limpia with roses done from Nicaraguan curandera some time ago. It was a very beautiful experience. She used roses, and she, cleansed my body, my being. Because we're not just a physical body, we're also an energy body. Our thoughts and our emotions and everything affects this energy body that we're inhabiting. Just because we can't see it with our eyes doesn't mean it's not there. I've been thinking about it a lot because I'm leading a retreat this summer on the frequency of love. And I've been thinking a lot about how interesting it is that we really live in a sea of frequencies. They're all around us. Sound waves, radio waves, ultraviolet light, infrared light, microwaves, X-rays. We're full, there's waves everywhere. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It's the same with us. Just because we don't see, some people do see, but just because we may not see that we have an energy field doesn't mean it's not there. And you can experiment for yourself, whether or not you notice anything from doing that kind of thing, of doing an intentional process of cleansing your energy. I think it can be really important. And it's something that I've learned from many different indigenous healers that I've been fortunate to learn from over the years, has really given me great respect for that practice, which may appear so simple, but isn't. So I pass that on to you if you find it helpful to do something every day or every week, where you just take a moment to just imagine that you're cleansing not just the physical body, but your energy body. Know that we are absorbing so many things. We ingest a lot. If you look on your news feed and you just scroll your news feed, man, that is something is messed up. We should not be seeing. Our brain should not be processing, bombs and famine and there's crazy things happening, of people being detained and people's voices being dissented next to Amazon sales for big screen TVs and special things that you can put on your nails or whatever. These things don't go together, but they do go together in our world. You just scroll and you're like seeing horrible, horrible things mixed in with absolutely absurd things, and the brain is like confused. So to take the time to just say, okay, stop, no, enough. Like, I'm just gonna, like, let this all go. All right, I'm gonna come back to myself. Okay, I'm in my own energy again. I'm in my own energy. It's an important thing. So we're gonna do it today. We're gonna do it now because I've been talking for a really long time. And I always lead like a purification before we do the water ritual. And I didn't mention at the beginning that we're doing a water ritual in case you don't know, but I think you know because it's the title of the session. If you could get your glass of water and just have it there, we're going to do a special water ritual that I love doing. And the first part of the ritual involves just purification in that spirit of what I'm talking about, what I learned and really got this time in a different way from the Mamos and Zagas about the importance of purifying and cleansing our energy, so that we can be connected to ourselves, so that we can really have discernment about what is going on in the world, what we're seeing, choosing what feels true and what doesn't feel true, to have our intuition, right? It's all these things are connected. So what looks like a simple water ritual, it's not really. It's planting seeds of interconnection, seeds of helping us to be in touch with ourselves, to hear our voice, to know who we are, what's going on in our bodies and our minds and our hearts. That we have a responsibility for. And as we take care of that, we have more to give to others. We have more to offer others. The world needs all of us now, in whatever way each of us wants to be here. Maybe it's sitting under a tree. Maybe it's protesting. Maybe it's leading a live session. Maybe it's recording an album, or everybody has their own dharma, their own way. But the best way to do what each of us is here to do, what each of us is here to be, is to be connected to ourselves. To not fly away from ourselves and get taken down the stream of, sea lions with barnacles that are like coming from some magical AI realm. Not that there's anything wrong with little happy pictures of animals, but you know what I'm saying. We have to be able to connect to who we are, and I think it's going to be more important than ever as the world evolves in this new age that we're in. So, thank you for listening to me talking for an hour. I haven't looked at a lot of the comments because I know I want to answer and talk and respond, and I just want to stay focused on what I'm doing here. So get your water if you don't mind, and we're going to start. And this time I would just like to draw upon the energy that I was blessed to experience with the Mamos. I have their permission to be able to share about my experiences with them. I asked them if it's okay. I feel like it's important. They always ask for permission from nature to do anything, and I feel that to share the wisdom that I've received from them, it's good to ask for their permission. So I'm thankful that they gave that to me. So we're going to start by sitting by a fire together. And we're going to do our purification by this fire and try to use our imagination to cultivate just a safe place for ourselves, and to cultivate a place where we can connect inwardly and let go of whatever we may be carrying. And anybody who's in this world now, unless you're living in a cave or you're a complete sociopath, we all are affected by what is going on in this world. It's heartbreaking. I won't go down that in this moment because I probably won't be able to actually fulfill doing the ritual because it's so sad. So many things that are going on in this world. But my prayer is that what we do will help us, ourselves, and help the world by, connecting to what matters. So that's what we're going to do. So you don't need to do anything with your water just yet. We're just going to start, like I said, with visualization and to cleanse our energies together. Then we will sing to the water, Om Namah Shivaya, which is a beautiful mantra that essentially honors the light and the pure consciousness that lives within us, lives within everyone, everything. When we sing to the water, we imagine that this water is becoming like a blank piece of paper. We're cleansing the water. Water has memory. There's lots of studies about that. So when we sing to the water and we put the mantra, which is a pure vibration, into the water, we reconfigure the molecules, essentially, so that the water is totally pure and blank. It's open to what information we want to encode it with. Then once we've done that, then we will each in our own way transmit to this water what it is we want to imbibe or we want to receive. This is going to be different for each person. Maybe you want this water to cleanse the wounds in your heart from the past. You can drink that water with that intention. May this water just cleanse all the hurt in my heart. Maybe you want to imbibe a particular energy. Maybe you want this to be a glass of trust or compassion or peace or health, whatever you want. You, with your consciousness, you transmit that into the water. So then at the end, we don't actually have a glass of water. We have a glass of whatever it is that we intend is in this glass. And it truly, truly is. It's really each one of us believing that makes it so. But I believe I've done this ritual so many times and I believe it's miraculous if we allow it to be. We have to give our own permission for that. Okay, whew, so much talking, I'm sorry. I've been gone for a while, so I wanted to share all that. I may go slightly over. I'm just gonna go as long as feels right, because I may not do another live until the fall. So I just want to give everything I have to give today. So I really hope that there won't be any issues with the sound of my voice. If something's wrong with the sound, I'll fix it for the next time. So thank you. Let's just let everything go that I've said for the last hour. Just let it go. You can drop it down onto the earth and pick it up again. Whatever you want, whatever you need later, it'll be here for you. And let's imagine that we're all sitting by this beautiful fire. Campfire outside. Can feel and sense the beautiful starry sky. And see the embers from this fire going up into the sky. And feel the warmth. Feel the warmth of this fire on your face, on your body, warming you. And feel how peaceful it is to sit by a fire. We're just going to begin by connecting with the earth. So wherever you may be, just become aware that you're sitting on the earth. You are part of the earth. And we're just going to take a few breaths and we're going to just breathe up through the earth. Imagine you're just breathing up through the earth and breathing that earth into your body. When you exhale, you can imagine that you're just releasing that through the top of your head. So just breathe in from that earth and feel that energy of the earth, and then just exhale the top of your head. One more time, just breathing in from the earth. Exhale through the top of your head, sending that energy up into the sky. Now we're going to breathe the energy from the heavens, from the sky. Breathe that in through our head, and we're going to breathe it down into the earth. Breathe it out into the earth, so the other direction. So breathe in from above, and just exhale down below, connecting heaven and earth. Breathe in from above. Breathe out down into the earth. One more time, just breathe in from above. Breathe out down into the earth. Now you can just imagine that the energies of earth and heaven are meeting in your heart. So you breathe in from the earth and you breathe in from the sky, and it meets in your heart. The heart is the meeting point of heaven and earth. So just take a moment to just be in your heart. And then we're just going to connect for a moment with the earth of our physical body. Our physical body is very much of the earth. It's made of water, it's made of flesh, bone, blood. So we're just going to massage our body just for a minute. This is just a way of, becoming embodied. It's easy to become disembodied in today's world. So just connect to this body. Just say hello. Hello to your body. Massage it in whatever way feels right for you. Do it with love. Sometimes as you start to massage your body, you start to feel all the little tight places, little knots and stuff, and that can be uncomfortable, but it's good. We're shining that awareness on ourselves. It's only through awareness that it can shift. Now we're going to rub our palms together. Feel the heat. Feel this energy between your palms. And feel how amazing it is that you have the ability to generate energy just by rubbing your palms together. Don't forget to breathe. And you're just going to take a moment, you're going to separate your palms and feel the energy between your hands. Just feel that energy. And keeping your awareness of the energy in your palms, you're just going to sweep your body 3 times, imagining that you're just brushing off any dense energy on the body. Energy, just sweep it off. And just shake your hands after that. Shake. Just feel the peace. And one more time, we're going to rub our hands together. Feel the energy between your palms. Feel the heat. You're just going to place your palms over your eyes. Just rest your eyes. No need to see anything right now. Just let your eyes rest. This practice is about inward turning, inward seeing, not outward. Now, I'm going to imagine that each of us in our hands has some kind of a sacred plant or wood, piece of sacred wood like Palo Santo, or you have sage, and it could be anything that you connect to. It could be some kind of a mystical plant, anything at all. What feels sacred to you, what feels healing to you. And we're all each going to go to the fire. We're going to light this plant or this wood. Just use your imagination. Use your imagination. Feel in each hand that you're holding a plant or a wood or incense or something, and you see the smoke rising into the sky. In the light of the fire, you see the smoke going up. I'm just going to imagine that I'm holding this in my hands. I invite you to do that too. We're just going to imagine that smoke going up, and we're just going to ask these plants, ask whatever it is that you're holding, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me to help me cleanse my energy. Thank you. So now we're going to imagine we're going to take these plants, these smoking plants, and 7 times we're going to imagine that we're going to brush over our body and cleanse our energy field, your biofield, whatever you want to call that, your light body, doesn't matter the word. Really feel and imagine you're clearing away whatever is heavy there. The Mamus described it as like clearing the encasement of grief or heaviness, the heaviness of memories, whatever it is, in your own way, your own time. 7 times. When you're finished, you can put the plants in the fire to say thank you and feel what it feels like to be in your own energy, to feel the cleansing of the energy around you. It has a very tangible feel. So as you scan yourself, just feel your aura is like all cleansed by this sacred smoke, this practice that so many traditions have in different ways. And feel and know that you're now going to embark on a journey of self-blessing with the support of water, the element of water. We have fire, we have earth, we have the air that we breathe when we do the breathing practice, when we sing, we have water. Water can be a holder for our prayers and good wishes for ourselves. So we thank water, we cleanse the water, then we imbibe that water with our highest wishes for ourselves, our highest prayers for whatever we need, knowing that we are all worthy and deserving of our own blessings. We have to allow ourselves to receive that. So take a moment before we begin the process of singing to water to think about not overly using your mind, but in a deeper place in your being, to feel into where you are right now, what's happening for you. What do you need? What do you really deeply need or desire? Maybe you don't know, and that's okay too. Maybe it's just whatever is for your highest good. So we're going to sing now to our water, Om Namah Shivaya. We're going to imagine that this water is completely being reconfigured, reharmonized, so that all the molecules are organized, right? You could say in a way that when something is not healthy or whole, it is discordant, it's disorganized. So we're going to reorganize the water by singing into it a beautiful mantra, a pure sound. And you can use your mind. If we only knew the power of our mind, we would be so blown away by it. Our minds are so powerful. So we're going to sing to our water. Using the power of our mind, we're going to imagine all the molecules being transformed so they can receive our prayer. And I hope you won't have any problems with my singing because of the sound. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So, let us just call on the power of water to cleanse us, to purify us, and to help us to become more open and receptive to grace and to blessings. Know that we are all worthy of whatever it is our deepest heart is longing for. Let us trust that as we are doing this practice and all of our practices, these seeds that we're planting, we can trust and have the patience to know that they will bear fruit at exactly the right time. Even if you don't sing along, just keep your attention on the inside. Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. So I invite you to pick up your glass of water. Just hold your glass of water whatever way feels right to you. You can just hold it up to your heart or hold it in your lap or whatever you like. Just make a connection to this water. And just feel and just say, hello, water. Water is with us every day, but we rarely, if ever, acknowledge it. So acknowledge this water that has arrived in this glass for you today to be a conduit for blessings for you. And feel some gratitude in your heart for this amazing element of water that helps us every single day of our lives, cleanses us, purifies us, hydrates us, it nourishes us on so many levels. So there's so much to be thankful for. So allow your consciousness to go into this water, just be really present with it, and together we're going to chant the sound Om 3 times. When we chant Om, imagine that you're chanting it right into your glass, and imagine that as you chant it into the glass, that the molecules of this water are transforming into the purest, highest vibrations of love and of pure consciousness. So let us do it together. Direct our sound right into our water. One more time. Sing to the water and feel that water transforming in your glass. Last time. And now in your imagination, just imagine that this glass of water is a glass of light. All of the atoms in this glass are full of light, are completely purified and open to you for whatever you want to write, whatever you want to place in this water. So just feel this amazing gratitude for this water that is transformed, and you can keep holding it or you can set it down. And we're going to sing now to our own waters of our body, to cleanse the waters that flow within us. Om Namah Shivaya. And we sing Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Now we're going to chant the sound of Om 3 times, and we're going to direct that sound inwardly to our own waters. We have so much water. We're made of 70% water. So let the vibrations of Om go into all your cells, all your tissues, purifying your lymph, your blood, all the places where water lives. So you direct the Om inwardly. And feel the waters within you vibrating from that. Om. there's a place that hurts, you can direct the sound to that. One last time. Feel completely cleansed and purified in your physical body, in your energy body. All the vibrations moving through. And I'm going to invite you to pick up your water. And make a connection to this water in your hands. This water that you have sung to. This water that you have given your energy and attention to. Sorry, there's some problems with my mixing board today, so the sound is not right. It's okay, the intention is there. So connect your mind, the stream of your mind, connect it to this water in your glass. We're going to begin by just taking a moment to just acknowledge this water and to send our apologies, offer reparations to this water. Because we often go through our days with no awareness of water in our lives and how much it does for us. It cleanses us, it nourishes us, it hydrates us. We can't live without water. So just allow the water to be seen and to be known, and let's just say from our heart, I'm sorry for the times that I have not acknowledged you or been aware of everything you've given to me. Thank you, water, for all the gifts you give me every day. And to the waters in my body, I am so sorry for polluting you, for criticizing myself, putting myself down. I know all of those harsh words and those harsh thoughts I have, they affect you. It's like I'm throwing trash into this beautiful flowing streams within me, and I'm sorry I'm doing that to you. I don't want to pollute my waters. Please forgive me. We say thank you to that water in our body and that water in our glass, and feel the gratitude that we have water in a world where many don't have any water access at all. Thank you. Now allow your consciousness to connect with this water, which is like a blank piece of paper. It's just like pure consciousness. And go inside your heart and feel, what do you need? What do you want right now in your life? What is important for you? Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a color or an image, maybe it's a phrase. It could be anything at all. I am worthy of love. It is safe to shine my light. I am safe. Peace, trust, balance, whatever it is for you. Bring that quality or that word or that image. Maybe it's an image of yourself, happy and fulfilled. Whatever that looks like to you, maybe that's a clear image in your mind. Whether it's an image or a word, a sentence, just a feeling, we're now going to transmit that from our mind into our water. And imagine that the molecules of the water are rearranging themselves into the form of whatever that is. We know that water has different forms. It forms crystals that look different depending upon what the words or music or phrases are that are directed to it. So let your water take the shape of whatever it is that you are transmitting to it. A cup of light, a cup of consciousness. And feel it now. This glass you're holding is not just an ordinary glass of water, but it actually is this blessing that you wish for yourself. It is in this glass. You can feel that whatever is in the glass also has an energy field, just like we do. And that energy field or that aura of whatever is in this glass is exuding out beyond the confines of the container. When you're ready, you can drink this water. Don't just drink it like any water. Drink it with intention. Drink it with gratitude. Drink it mindfully. And feel that water, that prayer becoming part of you, every single cell, down to the subatomic level. Notice if the water tastes different than other water. Notice if it feels different in your body. Imagine that every cell in your body is now pulsing with that particular energy of what you're giving to yourself. It's only our own permission that we need to receive that. You not receiving the blessings is not helping anyone. We help others by blessing ourselves so that we can be full well that overflows. So feel peace in your being. Feel connection to yourself. See yourself, your mind and body and your energy in light. You have this choice. You can't control what happens on the outside, but we can control the inside. No matter what may be going on in the world, we can always work on our consciousness. We can always transform the way we see, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we relate to our own heart. Because that's the blueprint for the way that we relate to others' hearts. I'm going to read you this short passage from Thich Nhat Hanh, and it feels very relevant in this moment in time. Many of us do not know that the roots of war are everywhere, including in our own thinking and way of life. We are not capable of seeing the war while it is still hidden. We begin to focus our attention on the war only when the war breaks out into the open and people start talking about it. Then we feel overwhelmed by the intensity of the war. We feel helpless. We take sides and feel that one is right and the other is wrong. We condemn one side, but we have nothing to contribute towards ending the destruction caused by the war. We need to end the war with ourselves. We need to end the war inside. By doing practices where we generate love and compassion, we bless ourselves, we cleanse ourselves, we purify our hearts, we begin to transform the war inside, because that's where the seeds begin. So that's something each of us can do, to take care of ourselves, to bring peace, to end that inner war, fighting against ourselves. Let us accept who we are, with all of our frailties, all of our weaknesses. We all have them, and we all have strengths, and we are made in the image of a beautiful light that is the same in all of us. So may our practice, whatever we do, help us to have that inner vision of unity, and help us to have a kind heart towards ourselves. Let's just take a moment of silence, 1 minute in meditation together. May in this moment of silence, the benefits of our being together, those vibrations, those frequencies, may they go out into the world, to all of the people, all of the animals, all of the species, everything, anything that is in need of that good energy. Let us just send a wish from our hearts all together, then it may be received. May the flames in the world be cooled by healing waters of compassion and understanding and love. May we know that we're all one. On this earth, everything is interconnected. When we hurt one, we hurt ourselves. When we love one, we love ourselves. Peace to you, peace on earth. We'll end by chanting Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 9 times, a mantra that means may all beings everywhere be peaceful. The vibration of this mantra is specifically for that. So when we chant it together, we can know that those vibrations have an impact.
Lokaः samastah sukhino bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you. I know I went over. Thank you so much for your donations. I really, really appreciate it immensely. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention for this long time. I just didn't want to put a limit on it today because I haven't been here in a while, and it's good to have timelessness, to just go where the energy goes until it's complete. I really have missed being with you, and it makes me so happy to be with you again. I don't know if I'll do a live again before September, only because I'm kind of still in my healing journey here, and I'm not fully back in the world yet, and so I just want to be patient with that. And I am leading a retreat in August, and I was really hoping I'd be able to list it on Insight Timer so you could see it there, but unfortunately it didn't work out technically. Insight Timer really tried, which I'm so grateful for, and in the future maybe it will be possible, but there's technical things that have to go into it, so it wasn't possible this time, but maybe in the future. It's wonderful to see all the developments that are happening on the app. And I think there are some other things that they're developing for the live sessions. I don't know exactly when that they're going to unfold, but my hope is in the fall to do more regular sessions happening more regularly, because I think it's important, in these times to be in community and to do this type of satsang with each other for anyone who's interested. So thanks for sticking by me over all these months. I haven't, given you any new content in such a long time, and I feel so bad about that. I know you understand. It's just life, but there's so much I want to give you in the way of content to enjoy, and I hope that I will be able to produce all the things that I would like to produce for you and for myself soon. So I just wanted to say that. I really appreciate all of you for continuing to listen to my tracks and show up and be here, and even in my absence, it's so meaningful to me. So these are obviously really intense times. We all need to take care of ourselves and take care of one another. So let's do that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's a huge group hug. That is so nice. I love that. I always really feel that even when there's a lot of people here, that there's an intimacy to these sessions somehow, that we're really connected. Like I feel like we're all like sitting in a living room together. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but maybe because I'm like in my house, but I feel like we're all really close to each other. So thank you. Oh, that's so nice. All right, guys. Lots of love. I will share um, any updates or reflections in my circle. Anyone who's there, I hadn't posted anything in a long time, but I did finally share a little bit about what I was going through. So I was really wanting to do that for a long time, and I didn't have the words. Thank you to everyone who read it and commented. And anyway, all right. Lots of love. Thank you so much. Enjoy your water if you haven't finished it. Drink that with reverence, and you can actually do that every day. Simply, you don't have to do a whole ritual, just bless that water, chant Om, or imagine the water is just pure consciousness, clear, and imprint into it whatever you want. Water is an amazing vehicle for that. All right. Okay, lots of love. Thank you so much. We'll see